Sri Krishnaya. In the previous lecture, we saw the different types of food which has to be consumed. That is the sattvic, rajasic and tamasic food. And we realized that only the sattvic food increases a balanced state of mind, and the rajasic food increases the hyperactivity, and tamasic food puts us to sleep. It makes us more lethargic. Here I want to share with you some knowledge about the other tips which a person has to practice when he eats this type of sattvic food. So there is a person, if a person wants to keep on eating 3 or 4 times a day, then he may not really feel hungry and he is not eating that food for the hunger, but he is eating the food merely to taste and enjoy. And this type of food, this type of person actually is a drohi. In the sense, he is greedy about the food and he wants to eat up the person, or he wants to eat the food which other persons can always eat. So he is a betrayer. He betrays other man's food. So he is a drohi. The next is, this man eats 4 times a day. And a person who is rohi, that is, a person who is afflicted with diseases, cannot abstain from food for a long time because he feels weak. So he keeps eating 3 times minimum. So he becomes a rohi. A person who is an enjoyer and he relishes the food, eats twice a day. A person who is a yogi, who is contented with the food what he has eaten, eats only once a day. So the main thing what I want to tell you is, a person should have a good hunger before he eats the food. So if you should have a good hunger, then you should abstain from eating the food every half an hour or every 2 hours or 1 hour. So you should have a clear state of mind before you eat the food. So this overeating stretches the stomach, and if you are going to eat the food before it is digested, if you are eating the food at 9 o'clock and if you want to again sit and eat the same food at 11 o'clock, that food which you have eaten at 9 o'clock has not digested. So if you are going to pack one more set of food, then it is going to cause a lot of confusion to the stomach and the whole system is going to conk off. So the digestive system becomes weak in the state of time. Secondly, this overeating impacts the circulation of the blood and we may feel sleepy, we may feel lethargic. And the mentality or the mental state of mind when we eat the food is very important. That is the reason you should have the food in a quiet, serene atmosphere, free from any disturbance, a quarrel, and that is a reason why I tell my students not to watch the TV when they eat the food. So when you watch the TV, there are so many distressing scenes in the TV, and there is some sex and violence. So all this is going to create some trouble in our state of mind, and with that state of mind, if you are going to have the food, it is going to disturb our whole system. So the physical system and the mental system both are going to suffer because of this. And the most important thing is, before you sit and eat, you should know that you have to sit on the ground and eat. You should not practice the table food, so which is banned in India, but which is coming up because of the Western influence. So normally a yogi sits on the ground and eats, and the plate is also very important. We don't use the plastic plates. A yogi does not use the plastic plates, but a yogi uses only a disposable and clean leaf plate, which is the banana leaf. So that is the right type of the plate we should have. And when you have the food, you should, before you have the food, what you have to do is you have to sit down and put whatever you want to eat, everything in front of you, and pray to God and thank the God for giving such a nice food. So there are some mantras. So we chant so many mantras before we take the food. So we can chant some slokas or mantras from Bhagavad Gita, or if you do not know any mantra, we just chant Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. So this is the mantra we can just chant and start eating, and we have to sprinkle some sanctified water on top of the food and then we eat, so that the food becomes sanctified and pure. This is the way we respect the food. We respect the food in the sense we respect the person, a farmer, and who has procured that food and who has made the food. So we thank the food. Annadata Sukhi Bhava. So this is what we chant. So before eating and after eating the food. And you have to, normally we eat the food with our mouth, but I want to say that we have to eat with our eyes first, and before that, after that, we have to eat that food with our mouth. So what is that we eat with our eyes? That is, the food is actually laid on the leaf plate, and we have to see that food. Oh, this is red in color, this is white in color, oh, this is green in color, okay, this is payasam, this is brown in color. So we have to eat the food with our eyes. So when we see all this food laid on in front of us, so the digestive system starts working then, so the enzymes will start flowing in our mouth, so that the whole system is ready to accept the food. This is very important. Normally, what we do is we just sit in front of that and we eat. This has to be avoided. So digestive system has to be prepared. So this is what it is done. So, and one more thing is how we arrange the food, how the food is served is also very important. So, for example, white colored salt is on the top of the left hand corner of the leaf plate, and next comes the pickle or chutney, next comes the porial or the vegetables, next comes some sweet, here is one more food, here is the main food, on top of that we put sambar or rasam, and later we put all this buttermilk, everything. So all this creates a divinity. All this, when we see, we feel so happy. So with this happy state of mind, we have to eat the food. And most important thing is, we should not eat the food in haste. That is, we have to eat at least for 20 to 30 minutes. That is, it doesn't mean that you have to consume so much of food. Whether you consume this much of food or this much of food, you have to give some time to chew that food. Normally, we chew once or twice before we swallow the food, which is not correct. So, we have to eat that food and we have to chew for at least 10 to 15 times. So, the food becomes a taste and it becomes masticated, and the food is completely, it's like a ball of a halwa. So, in that state, if you are going to swallow the food, so here, if you are going to do this, so half the part of the digestion is complete. So, rest is pushed down, so the mastication or the completion of that digestion takes place in the stomach. So what we do is we just chew once or twice and we eat the food in haste and we push it down the throat, and what happens is the food is not perfectly blended or it is not ground properly with our teeth. So we are giving so much of strain to the digestive system here. So it takes only half the portion of that work, and it is pushed into the gut, so the digestion suffers. So this digestion, if it is affected, gives rise to gastric problem, it gives rise to constipation and all that. In due course of time, it leads to obesity as well. So this is the very important thing which you have to know. And whether we can drink water when we are going to have the food, I would say yes and no. You can just sip an amount of water if you want to push it down, but you cannot drink 2 or 3 glasses or more than that. So, and here regarding the water, we should not drink the water 1 hour before having the food and half an hour or 45 minutes after consumption of the food, because it is going to dilute the whole process. So what we can do is we can just do only achmana. So what we do in India is this. So we just put the tirtha here, which is only 1 drop of water, and we just do it thrice. So Keshvaya Swaha, Narayana Swaha, Madhwa Swaha. This is the way we do. So this way we are going to send the water in, and this is going to lubricate the esophagus. So this way the lubricated esophagus will push the food down easily. But we should not drink so much of water where it is going to dilute the digestion process and the digestive juices. So we will see about the spiritual values of the food in the next lecture. So with this, I want to finish a part of this yogic food or yogic nutrition. Shri Krishna Namaha.